She just missed me, because that's what babies do.
That's how, Sam, whenever we finish our podcast and hang up, that's what I do. I scream and I cry and I just say, I miss Sam! You don't know that, but it happened. It's true.
Yeah. Okay. Even though I have receipts, the last time I hung up early, you're like, oh, I didn't even notice you were gone.
That's true. Actually, I was acting.
Yeah, we're very good actors.
Welcome to RPG Book Club, a podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie Webben.
And today we'll be playing Part 6 of Final Fantasy X, stopping after the Seymour Flux fight. We had said before, but then all of us beat it on our first try. So some really juicy shit happens after it, so we're not just going to pretend we don't know. So we're going to talk about that.
If you really care about spoilers, I guess you could turn the game console off now. And by that I mean you could turn the podcast off now, turn your game console on now, and go and beat the fight and then come back to us. But, it's not a big deal. It's good shit, but we'll just tell you. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for, is spoilers for about 5 minutes farther than you are in the game.
We are in the future.
We've done it.
The distant future. The year 2000.
The year 2000. Exactly.
We've done it 3 times just this game series. So we're like, yeah, we said we were going to stop here, but we played an extra hour. So
I'm so glad you understood that reference.
I love it.
I definitely
Flight of the
thought
Conchords
of it.
is amazing.
I stand the Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of, I guess that's something from the aughts that was actually funny and not terrible.
Yeah.
Flight of the Conchords is amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I reference it all the time with Summer, and she's like, what? I'm like, you just have to watch it. It's singular. Also,
if you like Flight of the Conchords, you should watch What We Do in the Shadows.
Is it good?
It
keeps looking.
I heard it's so good. I saw the original mockumentary that they made. There's a TV show now, or a show. I don't know if it's TV show, but it's a show, which I need to watch still. But the mockumentary is so fucking good.
Yeah, I knew there was a mockumentary, and then I saw that there was a show, and I was like, I wonder if it's a continuation or a redo or a both. But I heard Jermaine Clement's voice introducing it, so I know it's all the same people doing it.
Yeah. Taika Waititi is in it as well.
Shit, that rules.
Yeah,
and
he's awesome.
He's brilliant and hot.
I can't remember if it's Todd Barry, because there's 2 comedians. The last names both are Barry, and first names are both similarly sounding. And I can never keep them straight. But the guy from the IT Crowd, the second boss, he's awesome.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like him.
I love him.
Oh, also,
he has the most.
Hear...
What was that?
Oh, you'll probably hear that this bullshit is happening again. I'm sorry. There's construction happening.
I can barely hear it.
It's not as loud as it was last time, but it is still a thing.
But yeah, the Todd and or Derek and or something else Barry has the perfect British douchebag voice, and I love it. It's so good. But anywho.
Anyway, yeah, what's been going on with y'all this week?
Yeah, one thing that has been going on is Dragon Quest V won a poll, guys.
Woo!
God, finally!
It won a poll.
Congrats, Dragon Quest.
Yeah, it beat out Okage this week. Also, I am bad at math, and in the last week, we've had 3 polls, and we only talked about 1 last episode.
Yeah, Sam was just like, oh, hey, the math for when we're going to be done with this game based on the number of polls we have is not even remotely close to being right.
So I was like,
whoops.
I was like, should we come up with 5 bonus episodes, or should I just put up 2 polls this week and then do 1 a week until we finish? So, yeah. So I think what I had done is I had somehow only counted 4 matches, and it was 4 matches, 3 weeks, 12 episode game, perfect. And then that doesn't add up. It's going to be a 9 episode game for the first off.
Yep, it is 2 to the 4.
Yeah, and then it was a lot more than that. So I had to speed everything up. So yeah, that'll be fun. But so Dragon Quest beat out Okage, and Shining Force beat out Magic Knight Rayearth. So now the one that's up at this moment is the Elimination Bracket Match 2, which will be Shining Force versus Okage, another rematch, and hopefully... I don't know if I want Shining Force or Okage to win, because Dragon Quest has shown that it can beat Okage, but it was close.
Here's the thing. I still don't believe in Dragon Quest. I don't believe Dragon Quest will win. I don't believe the universe likes me that much. Therefore, I am 100% thinking I'll show up for Shining Force because of the two. I'm not trying to oh, let's hope the worst one wins. No, Dragon Quest is going to lose either way. And so I'm going to be voting for or rooting for Shining Force, because Shining Force is a game that I legitimately want to play and would not be too sad if it beat Dragon Quest.
I'm rooting for Shining Force because it's 2D.
Okay, also sounds great, but
and I won't have to worry about all the stuff that comes with playing a PlayStation game.
Well, Dragon Quest is also 2D. If you get it on your phone, it's 2.5D, but you can legitimately play the Super NES version. It's the same thing.
Same shit as Xenogears
I
without the
didn't
jumping.
know Dragon Quest V was Super NES.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it was one of them many, many, many PlayStation games that y'all play all the time.
That's Dragon Quest 7.
Yeah.
Okay. There's too many Dragon Quests. I can't keep them.
Well, although even Dragon Quest 7, it has the same engine. It's Xenogears, but without the jumping or the platforming.
Yeah.
That's the
that
graphics
shit.
engine.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Top-down, rotatable environment.
Cool.
Yeah. But it's
AKA the best aesthetic.
It's such a good aesthetic.
It works really well. That's why you're making one.
Yeah. But which is the other thing that I did this week. I completed my locomotion engine for my RPG that I'm making that looks like Xenogears, and it's dope. It was hard, like really hard. Most of it was because there's a lot of buttons you have to make sure are pressed correctly inside of Unity, and no one like. So the thing about my Xenogears-esque aesthetic is nobody does it except for like the enemies in Doom clones, and like that's it. So like,
oh god,
I had to base everything off of like that, but those are only 4-direction and they don't have nearly the fidelity that I was looking for. And so there were no good tutorials. I just had to make it up on my own, and learning a new program while learning a new language for C# was really, really hard. So I'm glad that it's over.
Sam, I just realized one of my all-time favorite game developers, the Catamites, the guy who made Space Funeral, one of his best games that he's made in the last couple of years is made in Unity and has this graphics engine, this graphics style.
Dang, I should have.
And he's a really sweet guy. Like, I bet if I'd thought of it, you could have like added him and been like, "Hey, do you have any tips?" or something like that.
Yeah,
that's his game. He made it for the Juegos Venturas Mystic Western Game Jam or Mystic Western Game Festival, and it was called Kobe Castle, like Cowboy Castle, but it was spelled COBY, which is really funny. And then he later made the game Magic Wand, which is a much larger scale production using the same graphics engine.
Nice.
Well, anyway, too late now. Actually, I might still send you his info. Again, he's a sweet guy. He might not mind taking a bit of time out of his day to give you some tips, given that he's the only other person that I know of doing this graphic style in Unity.
Yeah, Super Blizzard makes games such as 10S and what are the Long Live the Axe and things like that. They use this style a lot. They have 2 RPGs they're working on that are in this style, which is the main reason I was like, yeah, I definitely got to do this. It definitely.
And they're in Unity.
I believe they're in Unity, just with like things, the way it looks. There's things about it that look Unity-ish, but I could be wrong. It just feels Unity. But yeah, that's enough about me. What about?
What about you?
Well, I actually also did some work on a game that I'm working on. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast because it's in like super, super early stages and I'm kind of embarrassed about it. But I'm a big fan of text muds, although I haven't played one in like 10 plus years because of the stress that came with the text muds that I played, which required you to be in character for roleplay all the time. And that just led to a bunch of
Yikes.
Yeah, it led to a bunch of yikes. That's a good way to put it. But I've really been wanting to create my own, and so I kind of like, I did a shit ton of world building a couple of years ago, where I like came up with all these gods and goddesses, and then I came up with like the various, I'm calling them species rather than races because I don't like the implication of the word race that
same.
they created. And then that'll be like the playable character, playable characters, and like just various things about the world. So I kind of shelved it for a while because I was like, well, I don't know how to fucking program. I'm not going to be able to make a text mud. But I actually got a Python text mud framework online.
Oh,
and
nice.
Just managed to set it up last night. And so like it's online locally for me, and I can start actually building a world within it, which means I've got to actually figure out what the world looks like.
Nice.
And start making maps and things. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I need to do to refine it, like change bits of code, and it's a little bit daunting for me, so I'm just gonna work with what I've got for now, and then eventually I'll maybe see if I can find someone else who can help me or something.
Yeah. Are you starting from zero with your coding knowledge?
I have a small amount of Python knowledge based on doing a Stack Skills Python course, but not finishing it.
Okay. Because the codeacademy.com Python course is really good, and it breaks you through like how to think like a programmer instead of just like, this is what the add operator does type thing. Like it goes through and it breaks it down, and like, why did this one not work? Why did this do work? What would be a better way to do this, etc., which I really, really liked.
Awesome.
I didn't finish that one, so I don't know how like in depth it goes, but it's free and usable in your browser, which means usable in between web chats. But
gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
It was really, really cool. But yeah,
I'm
cool.
I'm super excited about it. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. So if you have any interest in text muds, you're always welcome to get in touch with us somehow, and by getting in touch with the RPG Book Club, you'll in turn get in touch with me.
Awesome. Nice.
But yeah, I'm open to any suggestions or help, or if anyone just wants to check out the forum I have set up with all the world building I've done so far.
Nice.
I have one suggestion. Could you somehow add a battle royale mode?
Yeah, just text my battle royale.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, technically, in the text mods that I played, like, it was like open PvP for everyone.
Yeah, actually, that's not that dumb of a joke to make, because that's kind of how muds are, actually.
That's great. I have never played a text-based anything but Zork, which is weird.
They're super fun. Like, when things weren't yikes in the RPGs that I played, they were super fun. And I made some really good friends who only a couple of whom I still talk to. But, it was a great creative outlet for, like, storytelling and things like that, except when it was yikes. And I'm hoping that I can make
something on the old internet was yikes.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Why would that happen? I'm hoping that I can make an environment that's less yikes.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really control what anyone who plays the game would do. So
you just ban them.
People.
True.
Just wield that ban hammer.
Yeah.
You should cheekily make like the chief god of your world to be someone with a giant ban hammer. Just be like, don't forget who I am.
Yeah. Remember me.
Witness me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a giant monster that flies around and kills everyone, but instead of called sin, it's called yike.
Yikes.
It sells punishment for all the yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about you, Maddie? Do you have anything you want to add?
Not too much. I've got one fun thing going on in my life that I don't want to share. It's a surprise. It's not like, don't get all excited. It's not a huge deal or anything, but I just can't say what it is this week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you next week. Other than that thing that I can't say, nope, same old shit.
Yeah.
Same old shit.
Last I had checked up on you, you were stuck on the plot boss in Sekiro.
I beat him.
You beat him?
Congrats.
Fucking amazing boss too. Oh my god. So actually, hold on. So I was so excited with myself because I finally beat him, and my heart was pounding, and I was like pumping my fists. And then it turns out he had a third phase. And the third phase, he gets crazy lightning powers and killed me in like a fucking second. Honestly, Sekiro is hard. I know that sounds like a silly thing to say because it's a From game, but like, it's hard in a different way. It's really making me appreciate how not actually physically reflex demanding Souls games are, because they're actually really not. They're pretty slow games, and it's really more about your brain. Now that I'm playing Sekiro, I'm like, oh, this is a game that you really, really actually need, like, Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry level reflexes. Shit.
Oh, jeez.
Again, combined with the typical Souls format. But it's a brilliant game. I haven't played it as much this week though because of the other thing that I can't say.
Understandable.
Time.
Yeah, I really like the aesthetic of Sekiro. I mean, I like the aesthetic of all the From Software games.
Yep.
Which makes me sad that they stress me out so much. But
yeah. This one's hard as it's hard as shit, honestly. And again, I've played Souls games a lot. I got to the point where Dark Souls 3 like wasn't even that hard because I was just kind of super used to them at this point. And this game's just like, I hope that I feel like this game might actually be easier if you haven't played a Souls game because I'm having to literally unlearn all of my habits because they do not apply to this game at all.
Yeah.
Now the game's still going to be outrageously hard, but if you were to take someone who's like super expert level good at Souls, and then take someone who's like super expert level good at like Ninja Gaiden Black, or like God Hand, or just any other actual action game, they would be the ones who would be doing good at this game.
If
not the Souls people.
Yeah, if more difficult games were 2D platformers where I get to play a cute bug or a Shovel Knight, then I would probably be more into super difficult games like that.
A lot of the Souls fans don't like this because in this game you don't get to design your character. You don't get to have what we in the biz call fashion souls.
I was watching Game Grumps play it, and they just get shoved a character in there.
Yeah, although actually the character is a total cutie. And I like him, and the game's plot is good. But I can see how if you like expressing yourself via fashion, it's a bit of a bummer. Yeah,
I mean, on the topic of hard games with cute bugs, I'm super excited for Hollow Knight Silksong. So,
hell yeah.
It looks so good, and I can't wait to play as Hornet, because she is one of the best bugs.
I'm gonna get around to Hollow Knight soon. I was thinking about it recently, but then, I had some sweet Babby Matt gave me some eShop points for Christmas that I forgot to spend. And I was going to spend them on Hollow Knight. Like, what better thing to spend them on than the game that's apparently so fantastically good? But then they dropped Blaster Master Zero 2. And here's the thing. I know it's not as good of a game as Hollow Knight. Like, why the fuck would it be? But I had to play it. I love Inti Creates, and I love Blaster Master.
Yeah.
Even though Blaster Master Zero 1 wasn't even that good. So I bought that instead.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, look for if Hollow Knight goes on sale at any time, if you're not wanting to pay full price. But even then,
the problem is it'll probably go on sale on like Steam or whatever. But I want it on Switch because why wouldn't I?
Oh yeah, I have it on both. And shit
on Switch like never goes on sale. It's annoying.
Yeah, I am someone who, if I love an indie game, I will buy it multiple times for multiple platforms. I have 4 copies of Undertale.
I think I have 2 copies of Undertale, probably like 5 of Cave Story, I own both the freeware and not freeware versions of La Mulana.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. The list goes on when it comes to indie games that I've bought multiple times on multiple consoles.
I've got 4 copies of Undertale. I've got 3 copies of Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight, that's one.
Yeah, I have 2 copies of Hollow Knight, and then I have a third on pre-order because they're putting out a collector's edition.
Nice.
Which I'm super excited about. I got the Switch version so Ken could have Hollow Knight for his Switch.
Oh, yeah. That's why I paid for Shovel Knight again, because it's like, do I already have the game and the expansion pass or whatever? Yes. But do I have it on Switch?
Yeah,
no.
exactly, yeah. And the whole reason I bought it on Switch was because when Rise of Shadows came out, it wasn't available... Or, Rise of Shadows, what am I talking about? That's fucking Hearthstone expansion. Jeez. Not Plague of Shadows, Spectre Torment. When Spectre Torment came out, it was only available on the Switch at first. It was not available on PC.
It was like a limited exclusive thing,
Yeah, so I was like, I want to play this right now, so I'm buying it on this. And then later I was like, I want to play Hollow Knight, but I don't want to stop watching YouTube on my TV through my PlayStation, so I'm going to get it on my 3DS.
That's a rough life.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Anyway, when we last left our heroes, everything had exploded for 2 straight weeks, and Yuna and Goku fucked. That may not be canon. And then, even though none of them believe in Jesus anymore, they decided to continue on their journey. Mm-hmm.
It was a very pretty and metaphorical fuck, whether or not it happened.
Yes. I mean, wow, our start to Tim Rogers quote is pretty short. Quote Tim Rogers once again. I forget how it starts, but it's like, from a certain point of view, like seeing someone naked for the first time is better than is a bigger deal than like anything else you can actually do with somebody. So yeah, smooching someone in a lake is like, doesn't matter if you fuck at that point, right? Like you already smooched in a lake. Anyway, so the party gets to an enormous green plain called the Calmlands. The music is outrageously good. This is one of the few big Uematsu hits. I mean, I didn't look it up, but it's fucking Uematsu. You can tell.
It feels like it,
It's a beautiful piano piece. You learn about why this place is called the Calmlands from a few different people. Mm-hmm. Lulu says that the road ends here. Beyond here, there are no towns or villages or shops. She's lying about the shops thing.
There are 3 shops in just the Calmlands.
But it's true that there are no permanent settlements. At this point, many summoners get lost, or give up, or die.
One thing that's cool about the Calmlands is back when this game was coming out, my friends were passing around GamePro or GameCom or whatever magazine that was popular in the year 2000. But they were passing it around and were like, oh my god, look at how huge and awesome the world map is for this game. Because it was...
Joke's on you!
It was a picture of the Calmlands. And like when you first walk out, it does kind of feel like you're put on the world map. Because you see... It kind of
does look like a world map, yeah.
You see an Albed settlement way off in the corner, but when you get there, it's one house. But it looks like how on the world map it's one house, but that's a city. It's like it looks like that, but no, it's actually one house.
Totally.
It's dope.
So you at this point, Goku and Riku have just so y'all know, I'm not actually trying to do a bit when I say Goku. I have just basically forgotten that his name is Taichidas at this point. I don't even do it on purpose. Just so you know. But in case you're just now tuning in, Goku is the main character, Tidus. I named him Goku and it broke my brain. Also, it's in all caps.
Goku!
Anyway, so Goku and Riku both have an agreement amongst themselves. They won't let Yuna die. They have a couple of conversations this week about how we're going to stop Yuna from dying, but also, like, we don't know how to do that, but we're going to try our best. The lore guy gives some lore. Long ago, this plane was the site of a huge battle between Zanarkand and Bavel, which is cool. We didn't know that those two were, like, opposing nations before, but now we do. Machina devastated it, which is why it's an uninhabited wasteland. It's a very pretty wasteland, but I guess it's still a wasteland. The upshot is that since no one lives here, it's the perfect place for the final showdown. So every time the summoner defeats Sin, they fight Sin with their just final Aeon, and they have a big old fight here. And since the battle always brings forth the calm, that's why they call it the Calm Lands. Also, it is very calm. That's another... Yeah.
There's a lot of monsters for a place that's called the Calmlands, including the random ass mobs that fucking made me game over and lose an hour of progress.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
I'm glad that I told you to start skipping monsters and you didn't lose an hour of progress in the mountain, because the mountain is horrible.
Oh no, I was compulsively saving between battles in the mountains. Like, when I was grinding in the mountains, I was like, I'm gonna save every time I finish one.
Wow, Eli, I feel like you with your saving all the time, and Sam with your running from battles, I just feel like both of y'all cheated not only the game, but yourself. You didn't grow, you didn't improve, you took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked and nothing was gained. And it's just sad that you don't know the difference.
I was
what's amazing?
I was wondering if that was going to come up at some point.
I was also going to make that joke about us running from monsters.
I beat you to it. I was going to make the joke way later, but it just popped up.
I was going to use that because I also, because Eli was like, yeah, I was compulsively grinding, and that's when I lost. I was like, yeah, I started doing that. I'm like, oh yeah, but I have bullpit and experience, so I don't need to as much. So I cheated not only the game, but
yourself.
I was the one who cheated the game.
I didn't cheat at anything, but anyway.
Well, good for you.
It doesn't fucking
What
matter.
did you learn from it?
I did learn one thing, which is that I was going to mention this later, but fuck, I'll mention it now. I know it can be annoying because of losing progress, because Final Fantasy has always, except for 6, done the whole, like, you lose and it's a straight up load game, which is stupid. Like, just rip off Dragon Quest. It's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, aside from bad design decisions,
at least have a retry like the Tales games do.
Yeah. Anyway, bad design decisions aside, I love how fucking hard it gets here, because, like, they're selling it dramatically. You know, like, the whole game has not really been that hard, and also, like, they keep talking about how this is such a dangerous journey, and summoners need all these guardians, but, like, I feel like I don't really get that impression.
Yeah.
But now you're here, and it's like, oh, a lot of summoners actually die here. You get to the mountain, and there's literally graves of summoners, and the game's design is like, yeah, no, it's fucking hard now.
Yeah.
And also at this point, you're now, like, beyond civilization, so it's like you're beyond, you have departed safety.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You are beyond the what's the phrase? Beyond the Infinity, like, from 2001, which is showing tonight. I might go watch it.
Nice.
But yeah, so I think that's cool, even though it's annoying as well. Anyway, so there's chocobos again, which is cool. This place is huge. You can ride the chocobos.
I did not realize you could ride the chocobos. I walked on foot.
Yeah, you have to talk to the right NPC. There's an NPC on either side. I think the one that's close to you might actually not be there till later. But at some point, there's an NPC at both ends. And if you talk to them, they're like, you want to hire a chocobo? And you do, and then you don't have to do the battles.
Nice. The one that I talked to, he was just like, you can follow me to get back to Bavel. And I'm like, this world is a hallway. I know how to go backwards to get to Bavel.
I think
also,
oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, when riding the chocobos, you don't get to hear the beautiful music. You have to hear the chocobo music, which is great, but it's not the same mood.
Yeah. The only side thing I did this week was destroy Beljamine's Shiva.
Hell yeah.
It's the first summoning battle that I've won, aside from the one against Isaru. But
yeah, once you get Bahamut, there's just really easy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Bahamut.
Anyway, so you get to you get to a Rin shop. They did set up shop here in the Comlands.
Mine disappeared after my game over. My Rin shop, it just was gone.
You mean the guy on the snowmobile, or the guy?
The guy on the snowmobile.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He also has the inn in the top corner, the one that looked like.
Oh yeah. I went to that one, but the shop that was on the snowmobile had special weapons that the guide recommended I get, and I lost them after I game overed because I didn't save between them, and he didn't come back.
Oh, that's weird. I saw all the cool weapons, thought I'll buy them later, and then didn't. I should have told y'all to be saving Gil. You need Gil for Yojimbo. Well, anyway, whatever. It's optional. So, anyway, you get to one of those inns, and a pope shows up. It's this dude named Zook. He's a priest. He gives you an update. Maester Mika put out a hit on your head. He put out a public statement that you murdered Maester Keenock. Which you totally didn't do, but whatever.
He's one guy we didn't murder.
He's the one person we did. Exactly. But also, apparently, Yevon is just, like, collapsing internally. Also, we learned that Kelk Ronso, that was the other maester in the trial scene, the Ronso maester, he actually left the maesters. He split over some sort of dispute.
Like maybe having undead people lead their religion?
Exactly.
Well, he was fine with Mika, but he probably was not fine with, like, killing your dad to do it with Seymour. He seemed really upset by that.
So out of nowhere, for the first time in the game, we get a little bit of Lulu character development. Apparently, this is not Lulu's first rodeo. Waka and Lulu are sort of professional guardians. It's just funny how we've been hanging with these guys so long, and it just never came up. But, I don't know, sometimes you don't know what your friends did before they did their current job, you know? So Waka and Lulu, this guy we were just talking to, Zook, was a summoner on a pilgrimage a couple years ago, and Waka and Lulu were his guardians. They got all the way to here, to the Comlands, and then he gave up. Then you learn this is actually Lulu's third pilgrimage. Her first pilgrimage, she doesn't tell you exactly. She just says it also ended here at the Comlands. Now it's time for side quests, which I'll get back to. I'll give you all a rundown of those later.
Yeah.
So you run all the way through the Comlands.
Literally none of them.
Yeah, you run all the way through the Comlands. It's big. It's pretty. It's got a lot of different kinds of mobs. A lot of variety. And some of them are pretty fucking hard.
It has precisely 9 different kinds of mobs. I know because the guy at the arena tells you so.
Exactly. I was thinking it was either 9 or 10. Anyway, and some of them are really big. Some of them actually show up in different areas based on what part of the field you're at, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get to the next area, there's a bridge, and there's a boss battle out of nowhere. Some Guidos show up, and they summon a big-ass gold man from Dragon Quest. He doesn't give you a shit ton of gold like he does in Dragon Quest, though. He is pretty hard. I found this battle rather difficult. What about y'all?
No.
Didn't do it.
No, this is the monster. Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay, I thought we were talking side quests. Okay, now I remember. Yes, it wasn't too bad. I had Auron and Titus to fuck it up, and then Yuna was healing them.
Nice, good, yeah. If I recall, because remember, my build's all stupid. So, like, if I recall, it was like, he doesn't have any weird gimmicks or moves. He just, like, hits like a goddamn truck.
Yeah.
And I think he was, like, one-shotting some of my lower HP characters, like, just punching them to death in one hit. I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I hasted Riku, so I had Phoenix Downs every second. So
God, haste is always the most important OP spell in Final Fantasy, but it's even better when you have the CTB battle system.
Mm.
It rules so hard.
I love when you haste Riku and you look over at the corner and it's just all Strong space.
Oops, all Riku. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so that was the Comlands. Now we're at Mount Gagazet. The music here is fantastic. Also, technically, this is Kamari's theme.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So, this is the theme of the Ronso, and the theme of the mountain. Turns out the Ronso live here. Maester Kelk is here. Maester Kelp. good one. Okay, got him. I'm gonna start making that joke. Oh, there's a recurring bit I was gonna be making all day today. What was it? Hold on, let me back up. Let's see. What was it? What was the bit I was gonna be making? Oh, right, the clam lands.
The clam
lands. Yeah.
Well, you missed it. We're completely out of the comments now.
Just pretend like I was saying the clam lands all along, okay? Anyway.
Got him.
Yeah.
Got him.
Got it.
Anyway, he says that Gagazet is a holy mountain, and except that we've now Alejandro Jodorowsky's canceled now, so we don't care about the holy mountain anymore. Anyway, enemies of Yevon shouldn't set foot on it. It's not just any mountain; it's holy. So if you're a fucking heretic, you shouldn't be here. Waka has somehow looped all the way around to being extremely down with blasphemy now. It kind of makes sense. I mean, no one hates religious people like people who used to be religious,
right?
Yeah.
So, or like British assholes, British intellectuals, right? But yeah, no. So literally, like, he's like, yeah. Yevon sucks. Like, they're going against the teachings. He doesn't say, like, fuck them, because they don't say fuck words in this game, but, like, he's, like, extremely adamant about it. It's hilarious. They all kind of give a fuck the police speech, and Yuna says she has no regrets. Lulu, instead of getting all uppity, she's a reasonable person, and she's like, hey, Kelk, didn't you also leave Bavel? Didn't you leave them? And then he's like, Yuna, what are you even fighting for? Like, everyone's rejected you. Everyone thinks you're a traitor. Whomst are you fighting for? And Yuna says it's for Spira and for the common.
The scene was, like, dope. And I could, like, when he was just like, who are you fighting for? I was like, she's going to say for Spira. She's going to say for Spira. She's going to say for Spira. Yep. And the camera, like, zooms in on her face. And she's like, I'm fighting for Spira. And I'm like, she said for Spira.
Oh, yeah. She's fighting for the calm, for the people. Defeating Satan is all she knows how to do, and she's got to do something, just like Speed Racer. Kelk is moved by this, and he says, okay, we'll let you pass. At this point, you have one of those party chill-out moments. If you talk to Kimari, he's like, hey, where's Yankee and the other guy? Yankee and Biran. And Goku's like, it's probably nothing. Hope we don't have to fight him. Spoiler, you have to fight him. Yep. We get a little bit of development for Kimari. Pretty much there's only development in the game. Apparently young Ronsos always fight each other as part of growing up, improving their place in the world. Kimari was very small, feeling very small and cute, RN. And he got his ass kicked by Biran, but he wouldn't admit defeat. Instead of being like, you beat me, he just like would keep fighting him. So eventually Biran broke his horn, and then he was ashamed and he left. Anyway, Braun and Yankee show up on the next screen, and they berate Kimari again for being weak. They say the party can pass, but you can't. A weak Ronso can't go up the mountain. So you gotta do a one-on-one fight.
So what you're saying is there like the weak Ronso is climbing the mountain. Why is he climbing the mountain?
I was about to make that fucking reference, but it was slightly later. Yeah, he wants to make love to the mountain.
Is this Homestuck related?
No, it's Star Trek.
It's an interview with seriously, you know his name,
William Shatner.
Yeah, it's an interview with William Shatner about Star Trek 5, which is a fucking bad movie. And he's talking about like the metaphor of the part where Captain Kirk is climbing the mountain. Why is he climbing the mountain?
Don't worry, it'll be in the host chat for you when we finish.
So you're gonna flip. You're gonna love it. So anyway, so you have a 1-on-2 fight. They're like all going on and on about how Kimari should prove his strength by being better than them, and then he has to fight 2 of them. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, that's super not fair.
Last time I fought one of you, you beat me and broke my horn, but sure, I guess I'll take 2 of you on.
Although, here's the thing. The great thing is, so I haven't been using Kimari this entire time because I was like, I don't understand this character. I don't get why he's not learning anything. I was a little worried about
you for this battle. But...
Yeah, and so I got to the battle, and man, those 2 other guys, the game cheated for me. It wasn't I cheated at the game and I cheated myself. It was the game cheated me. And by that I mean it made them way easy. They were hitting me for like 20 to 100 damage max. And Lancet, of course, heals you. So
that's actually funny. They were hitting me for more than that. You must have had better equipment than me.
I don't know.
Maybe they balance it to your internal sphere level.
Oh wait, actually, sorry, I looked online. This battle is scaled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably because they knew that some people weren't going to be fucking like. Anytime you have a one-on-one battle, it's like, what if no one's been using that character? Yeah, this actually is scaled.
Digo. Sorry. I'm still spicy about that Digo one-on-one fight.
Fucking fight.
God, yeah. To tell you how little I've used Kimahri, he had 1,244 HP.
Wow.
He's got Lulu levels of HP, but he's
not a lot of HP.
Yeah.
Did y'all see? I should have pressed this more in the chat. I said it, but I didn't really say it all the way. Did y'all see that y'all should be stealing from this guy?
Steal? No. Lancet? Yes. I Lanceted basically every blue moon.
Wait. So you would have to go through Riku's path to get steal.
Or use an ability sphere, which you probably have.
Nope. If we have the opportunity to have gotten them, I have not gotten one. I have blue magic, black magic, and white magic.
Oh, well, anyway, that's a shame. If there was any way for you to have taught him Steel by this point, I taught him Steel just coincidentally, like, right before this battle, because I have looped around to Riku's area now, because I don't know what I'm doing with Kimahri. You can steal level 3 key spheres from these guys.
Oh, wow. Shit.
I stole like
I've gotten 0 of those. I've got no key spheres.
I got my very first one early, like at the beginning of this week, and then I got like 6 more from these guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder if I should go, since I've doubled all of my saves and I'm at like 75, if I should go back and steal them, because I have like 8 level 4s. But for most people's routes, the level 4 super spell is behind a level 3 gate. So
yeah, I will say, if you're going through a character's route and you get to a level 3 gate and there's nothing like else to do, that means you've completed that character's route.
Okay, yeah.
Like that's like I'm about to get to Waka's level 3 gate. Some characters like Lulu hits her level 3, but then you can kind of go in a different direction to go get double cast instead.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like
most
characters,
where I'm headed.
For most characters, like, if you get a really powerful ability and then there's level 3 and that's it, it's like, no, yeah, this character their class has been maxed out, essentially. Yeah. Barring super powerful stuff like Ultima, which isn't part of any particular class.
Which I unlocked this week. I'm so excited.
Dang.
You did?
Yeah,
yes.
Nice.
Oh, and yeah, so anyway, so level 3 key spheres, what I'm getting at, is you only really need them when you're done with a route, or if you want to go off topic and get some really weird thing. So, like, not having them shouldn't really, like, even though I have like 7, I haven't used any of them yet, you know, so like it's not a huge deal you don't have any yet. But yeah, I'm glad that I saw online that you can steal from them. Oh, I also didn't tell you this, I'm so sorry. This is where you can get all of Kimahri's Ronso rages.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I did. I just Lanced it every turn pretty much.
Yeah.
Y'all did see that. Okay,
cool.
Yeah, y'all use the guide, so I figured. Yeah, I like yeeted like the 3 that I didn't already have. I guess yoinked is more what I did. I didn't yeet them, I yoinked them.
If you yeeted them, you would have given them to those guys.
Well, I yeeted them after I yoinked them. I yeeted them right back. Anyway, yeah, so I got the Chivo, right, for having all of those. Cool. So that's that fight. It's not hard. It's only hard if you're me and it take forever because you're stealing key spheres. Biran is happy that Kimahri is strong, actually. It's cool. Like, they're like, no, me being a jerk and fighting you, bullying you, was just our culture.
Yeah.
I feel like he's using that as an excuse. I feel like he's probably being a bit more of an asshole than necessary, but, you know, whatever. But now that Kimahri is so strong, they're all fans of you, and they're fans of Yuna. They think Yuna's awesome. Everyone thinks Yuna's awesome, because she is.
Yes.
Then they say to make it up, they say, hey, Kimahri, to make it up to you for being bullies, we'll kick anyone's ass if they try to go up the mountain. So we're going to stand here and guard. If any of those Guido fucks try to get up here, we'll run them out of town. We'll show them that they're not wanted around here. And then Biran says that Yuna is the best summoner, and that her statue will be the biggest statue of them all. And Yuna says, I'm a traitor, no one's going to make a statue of me. So Biran says the Ronso will make their own damn statue, and they'll put a horn on it. And
with
Yuna's
blackjack
just like,
and hookers.
Yuna's just like, thanks. She knows that's a gesture of pride, even though she doesn't really want a horn on her statue. So then you proceed on your way, but wait. Biran and Yankee stop you again. What is it this time? Even Titus is like, what is it this time? But then they start singing the Hymn of the Faith, and everyone else sings it too to honor your journey. And
it's
there's a nice
really
little scene.
sweet.
Yeah, there's a nice scene. There's a nice scene where they're singing it, and after a certain point, the Uematsu track of the song comes in with a choir singing because all the Ronso are singing. But before they come in, it's actually those two voice actors singing it. And the music track is just like wind blowing. It's really good.
One thing that I was let down a little bit by the Hymn of the Faith in this game is the lyrics are in Japanese. So when the Albed sing it and it's still in Japanese, and then the Ronzo sing it and it's still in Japanese, I'm like, it would have been that much more cool if the Albed would have sang it in Albed and Ronzo would have sang it in some other
disagree.
language.
I think it makes way more sense that it's always the same language. Also, that it's not. Is it actually Japanese? Do you know that?
There are words in it that like look like Japanese, but I don't know if it's like good translation Japanese or just like based off of it.
Whether it's Japanese or not, I like that they don't have subtitles for it. Anyway, definitely. I don't know. It makes sense. It's religion, right? I mean, you got those you got those sedevacantists, right? Those Catholics who think that they never should have gotten rid of the Latin Mass.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like, I also love when I was religious, I was one of those weeaboo Christians that like I would hear "Our God is an awesome God" in Chinese and just be like, "Fuck yeah, that's my jam."
That is cool. That is
and
cool.
Like that's what kind of the feel that I feel they could have gone with here, and would have been dope to be like, oh, like the Albed do care so much that like they still do Yevon in.
But they're not evangelicals; they're Catholics.
I know.
But no, yeah, I mean, you can make an argument either way, and it's it's different cultures and religion. Religion is just an interesting thing to talk about and think about.
Yeah.
I actually really like this scene. Ignoring aside from what you're saying, I just think it's super cool that this is going to be one of my memorable moments. But since we're on the topic anyway, I'll start making great time because nothing happens this week.
It happens at all this week.
I really love how a little bit later, Yuna says that she'll pray for someone. She'll like keep someone in her prayers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really cool that even all the people who are going against Yevon still sing the hymns and pray.
Yeah.
It's extremely realistic and cool. It's not the Church of Yevon and the leadership of Yevon isn't the same as the faith. And even if the literal religion is, even if that's also literally false, it's not the same as tradition and culture.
Yeah.
So like them singing the song, even though they're literally like, you're literally a blasphemer and a traitor. Also, we don't know if we align with Yevon anymore, but the most important thing we can still do is sing this song for you.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Which is really, really cool. You know what? I'm just going to plug this, okay? Everyone listening to this, if you want to read something really good, you should look up 13 Rules by AVB. It's probably the essay I've read more than any other essay in my entire life that isn't written by Tim Rogers. No, I've probably read it even more times than Life Non-Warp by Tim Rogers. I just all of a sudden started having emotions. It's about world building in fantasy stories and religion and being trans. And it's funny that was my favorite essay for a really long time. It's really good, and y'all should look it up and read it. It's also really short. It's relevant to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Its thesis is that things are real even if they're fake.
Yeah. Because if you believe in something really hard with all your might, it becomes a little less fake.
It's still real to me, damn it!
It becomes slightly less completely made up.
Yeah.
So anyway, 13 Rules by AVB. Go read that. Anyway, there's a super long, super fucking hard field dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
It's icy. It's the mountain. This mountain is not hospitable to you. It is the graphics are great on the HD remake. They really do an amazing job of making this place feel dangerous and wild. Like, the wind is blowing, the rocks are craggy, and the enemies will fucking murder you.
Yeah. Another thing that I like about this dungeon is it feels like a Final Fantasy dungeon, and like
instead of a field,
instead of just a field. Like in this game, your Final Fantasy dungeon stand-ins, like we had one in that forest a long time ago, not Macalania, but the very first one, because there were multiple paths and stuff there. But this one, while there weren't multiple paths, there were a lot of like chests around the corner and a optional like video recorder around the corner and stuff like that. But it just like it felt like the Gauntlet, and I very much. Like, I knew that Seymour was on the end of it, so I was making it harder for myself by not using any overdrives because I wanted to save them and just let loose.
I was doing the same.
Yeah, bank those overdrives.
Yeah, and I, like, because of that, I was just like, okay, well, this mob is really killing me. Should I Bahamut and win, or should I save that Bahamut to fight Seymour? And, like, it was a lot of, like, thinking about the game. And like, okay, well, I only have like 2 ethers, so I'm not going to bring out Yuna and Lulu to mow everything down. I'll just bring out Yuna so that I can build her up for the Seymour fight and stuff like that. So I was like engaging with the game finally, really this late into it, because like this game has great systems, but like the systems don't matter because everything's a hallway and there's so many cutscenes. But like this part really was like, I hope you have been paying attention to the systems and what can you do with them. Yeah. And it's really
luckily, or I hope you've at least been paying attention to the systems enough to know that Tidus's flee move is 100% success rate.
Yes. Yeah. I figured that out a while ago, and so like anytime in the Calmlands when I would run into those 2 big like lizard creatures that fucked me up.
See ya.
Yeah, I was even if I didn't have Tidus in the party, I was like immediately switch to Tidus and run.
Yeah, that's cool. That's his ability. I think it makes sense. On one hand, that's historically a thief ability, so you think it'd be Riku's thing, but
in non-Final Fantasies, it's historically a main character thing, so it doesn't feel out of place for him. Like in Shining Force, if we get to play that one, that's the main character's thing. That's the main character's thing in Dragon Quest.
In Dragon Quest, it's interesting. It's not even the main character's theme. It is, but it's actually something you pick before you even pick the main character's move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in this thing, it's like, on one hand, Tidus has, even though he's obviously not literally the leader, Yuna's obviously the leader, he's kind of low-key become a leader at this point. Riku even mentions it at some point.
Yeah.
In just a second.
Yeah.
And it's just because he's just so headstrong and confident, they're all just like, we'll let him, it's like, he's just inspiration to everybody.
Yeah.
So it almost seems like it's cowardly. Why would he be the one fleeing? But I think it's like, no, he's not from here. He doesn't have a fucking death wish like everybody else does. He's a coward in a good way. He knows to run away so that they don't die.
Yeah.
He's not going to be like, no, guys, we got to stay and fight for honor or whatever. He's just like, no, fuck that. That's stupid. I'm running away. You're not going to fucking die when you fight Sid. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Speaking of running away, so I just talked about how much I loved this, and I engaged with the mechanics, and it was great. Except I could see the save point, and I got into a fight with Robot Dinosaur Wolf, that mob, and they ambushed me, which means that they went first, and they one-shot my whole party before I could do anything.
Literally the exact same mob got me.
Yeah. Fuck that mob. That's the only one that was, like, dangerous there.
And it's funny because all 3 of those bad guys aren't even that strong. Like, those aren't the strongest bad guys at all. But when you put them in that combo and they go first... Also, I had not healed between battles. You need to heal between every single battle in this game. Yeah. In this dungeon. And if you forget because you're just being lazy, this is what happens.
Yeah. And on the off chance that Riku doesn't go first to use an Albed potion, you get wrecked like I did. So I engaged with the mechanics and I loved it, and then I died and I said, this is fucking stupid, and then I ran from every battle to get to the other side.
Cheated the game and yourself. So anyway, this place is really hard. There's a couple of different graves of summoners. Mm-hmm. And every time you click on a grave of summoner, there's a little bitty cutscene where you talk about it. It's just flavor. Lulu says that anyone who dies here is going to be unsent, which makes sense. If a summoner dies, there's no other summoner there to send them, so they just die. It reminds me of like the dead bodies that are on Mount Everest and stuff.
Yeah. That's definitely the vibe I was getting there.
Yeah,
which again, like, I think that's in purpose. It's like, this is not a pretty fantasy mountain. This is you're gonna die if you don't. It's, if you're out in the air cold too long.
It's
mountain.
the fuck you mountain.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Just
like
before
Celeste.
the fuck you boss.
Because like in JRPGs, like you start off with either a forest or a sewer, and then you go to the ice mountain. Like that's
ice
pretty
always
much
is dramatic. It's just dramatic. Ice levels are dramatic. It's because it's cold and unloving.
But I feel it's usually a like early thing and not like the climax.
I see what you're saying. You're right.
And so here it's like it's the climax and they really play it up. So it's not just like, oh look, here's the mountain with ice and it's scary. Let's wait out in the snow here and listen to Lloyd talk about stuff. It's like, no, this is where the shit happens, and it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this area a lot. It hits. Also, like, at this point, there aren't any big plot twists. We're just focusing back on the struggle, the characters, their journey, their emotions, and it's hard. Oh god, I just thought of the ultimate fuck you mountain. Mother 1 is a horrendously badly balanced game. Most of it's pretty fine. The final dungeon is a mountain. It's actually Mount Itoi, which is funny.
Beautiful.
And it just has the most outrageous difficulty spike you've ever seen in a video game. And at one point, someone was interviewing Shigesato Itoi about it, and they're like, so man, that difficulty spike at the end there, huh? Why did y'all do that? Like, what was the artistic intent behind that? He's like, we didn't play test that part.
Well, that's refreshingly honest.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, the game, we really needed to finish the game, and we just, we didn't play test it. That's why it's hard. It's definitely too hard. No argument.
It was on purpose.
So I always respect that.
Yeah, that's great.
So anyway, you get to a save point at the top of the mountain, and we get the final scene of the week. Goku and Riku talk again about how they want to save Yuna. I like this scene because Goku's like, we still haven't made any progress. We don't know what to do here. He realizes, though, we don't have any information. We don't know anything about this. So maybe once we get to Zanarkand, we'll learn something. So let's pay attention. Let's see what new information we can glean once we get to Zanarkand. Until then, let's just go, right? And then hopefully something will work out. And that she's like, that's why you're our leader. Or she's like, when you say something like that, you sound kind of like a leader. And then he's like, I'm not a fucking leader. And she's like, that's why you're our leader. Because this is another Homestuck reference.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's Seymour.
Suddenly, Seymour is standing beside us.
And I'm like, a Seymour? At this time of day, in this part of Sphera,
located in this mountain?
Precisely at this spot of the mountain.
Can I see it?
No. Seymour's like, oh hey Kamari, how you doing? The last Ronso. And he's like,
what?
You must be feeling pretty bummed out. All your friends tried to stop me from coming up here, but I killed them all. And not just the men, but the women and the children, which were off screen.
He killed the younglings.
So he's like, hey, so Kamari's sad now. Y'all should just let him die. He won't be sad anymore. Because remember my gimmick? Death is good, actually. Then he says, I want to become the next Sin. And your father, talking to Goku, will be freed again. Goku's like, I'll make you eat those words. And you have a boss battle.
And everyone looks at Goku and is like, what? And he's like, I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
This is the boss battle moment. I'll tell you after he's dead.
Explanation time is over, fighting time is now.
This boss battle has the most insane music you've ever fucking heard. It's incredible. It's almost a melodic. It's just a guitar going nuts.
Yeah.
With drums. And not even going nuts in like a cool like melody way. I kind of got mad because I played this game before, of course, but I had forgotten about this track. This is exactly the kind of battle music I've been wanting to make for my RPG. Except for me, it was going to be the normal battle music. I'm just like, what if instead of being a catchy melody, the battle music was just like loud and drums and just atonal nonsense for 5 straight minutes. And that's what this track is, and it's beautiful. Anyway, after this is again supposed to be the second or third hardest boss in the whole game. I looked it up just to make sure I wasn't remembering wrong. No, it is. All the guys are like, "Oh boy, buckle up for this battle." But no, yeah, we all kicked his ass.
Yeah.
I kicked his ass because turns out he's susceptible to poison. I respect any RPG that makes its bosses susceptible to status effects.
Yeah. I actually
that helped a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like you should not make your status effects so overpowered that they would trivialize your boss, so that your bosses should be immune to them.
Or at least
say poison is. I'm surprised this was poison. Poison's usually the one that's not, because it's like, oh, that's 10% of their health every turn. So get them
although
poisoned.
It's not that much.
Get them poisoned. Guard for 10 turns, and you win. Well, that's ridiculous. Don't fucking do that. But it's like, they should balance them enough so that you get to use all of the tools in your toolbox and not be like, oh, this is a boss battle, so put away our time mages and our yin yang mages and put them away, because they don't get to do anything.
Like, what more mark is there of a badly designed game when it's like, oh, on the part that actually matters, you don't get to use any of the mechanics?
Yeah. I actually failed to bring out Lulu to use bio because I was using the guide and I just blanked on it, but Auron hits like a goddamn truck, and Auron
is doing insane damage at this point.
Yeah. I had a grand summon on Yuna, so of course I pulled out Bahamut and fucking wrecked Seymour and his little friend. So not only did Seymour I think he took 18,000 damage from Bahamut.
I think that's about how much mine was, too.
It was ridiculous.
Even more than that. Actually, mine was even more because I had buffed up his strength. Oh, yeah. Quick aside. Turns out the game wasn't done tutorializing. There was one last mechanic in this game.
Yeah.
You get it at the beginning of the Comlands. It turns out that in addition to using items to teach your Aeons new abilities, you can also use items, spheres exclusively, to raise their stats. But the higher the stat is, the more it costs to raise them. So, but still, even though Bahamut already has an insanely high strength, I had 99 strength spheres, so I actually raised Bahamut's strength a little bit. So now he's doing even more damage.
Yeah, you learned that from the last Beldramine fight that we did.
Oh, that's right. Which we'll get to later when we get to side quest time.
Oh, because I didn't find her, so that would do.
Gotcha.
Okay. I basically, everybody got experience because I shuffled everybody in at some point because they all had ultimates to use, or overdrives. Sorry. They all had overdrives to use. And, I even got to make use of Kamari briefly because he had his defensive one.
Nice.
It was pretty great.
Oh,
nice.
Also, this might not matter, but you're speaking of defensive things and ultimates. Go back to the Calmlands, go to the Albed shop, buy 50 maps. They're only 50 gil each, but 2 maps is the recipe for the ultimate grenade for Riku's mix overdrive.
What the fuck? Really?
Yeah, it's just 2 maps.
So you just weird.
2 maps, and it's 3,000 damage for each thing. It's a potato masher grenade, and it's fucking legit.
Yeah. Turns out there's a bunch of ways to make that, but yeah, one of them is hey, you know this completely worthless item that you can buy at every shop for some reason, even though you never need to use it? This is why.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the cheap way to get her ultimate mix, so it's dope. Yeah. That's how I got through most of the way through the mountain on the first time. So I had Riku in my party constantly, and she was charging every time somebody else took damage. So that was often. So she was just chucking out grenades constantly at people, and it was dope.
Hell yeah. Not even counting it. Fliff. Anyway, yeah, so we kicked this guy's ass, which I hopefully bodes well for next week's actual hardest boss in the game. Fuck you, boss.
Yeah.
So after you beat him, he definitely dissolves into fireflies. Of course, I'm not going to lie and try and trick y'all and think that he's somehow dead, but it is interesting that it is interesting that he keeps like actually straight up dying and not running away. Maybe he's just such a powerful spirit that he just keeps coming back because he hasn't been sent. So even if he dissolves into fireflies, he just comes back. I don't know. Anyway,
and what's cool is the party doesn't think they killed him this time. They're
not even like they're like
you coward, come back here type thing.
The fireflies fly off into the sky, and Goku literally goes, "And stay up there." Yuna is like, "What was he talking about about your father?" Arin's like, "Oh, it's nothing. Let's just keep going." And then she calls Arin and Goku out for hiding something. So I like this part because the whole game has been Goku not knowing anything, and every twist in the game has been Goku and the player learning something that everyone else already knew the entire time. Now, Goku's the one who knows something and the player, but no one else does it. So now Goku is the popular one.
Yes, so let's all talk to Goku.
Exactly. That's one of my all-time favorite jokes from that show. It's really good. So at any rate, he's just like, Sin is my old man. And they're all just
favorite thing is Waka. You're just like, and after like we were sucked up by him, like I felt his presence, so I know it was him. And Waka's like, maybe it was just Sid poisoning.
And then after that, he's just like, you can tell he's just trying to make something up because he can't deal with it. And then he's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend you didn't say anything. I can't deal with this. I'm out. Like this is too much for me. Yuna is like, so you're still going to be able to kill Sin even though it's your dad? And he's like, that's not going to be a problem. Did you forget that I hate him? Yeah. Are y'all? I don't want to pressure y'all too much. Are y'all picking up on why this might be a little bit of a big deal? More than just what we already know?
So Seymour wants to become Sin, so there's obviously something for that. We know that Jecht became Sin, so something final summon something kills summoner something friend becomes Sin. That's
something. Yeah. I'm not going to say if that's right or not, but yeah, I mean, there's things happening. Also, the fact that Arin like was so staunchly against everybody knowing this, like we talked about how Arin's motivations are kind of weird.
Was Arin trying to become Sin? I know you can't answer this question because we're going to play it next week.
Yeah,
but that was just a wondering I had to say out loud to share with the podcast.
Yeah, this whole time Arin's had strange motivation. Like he's like, we need to go right now. Don't talk. No, don't think about that. We gotta go. Don't think about the plot twist. So anyway,
pay no attention to the plot twist behind the curtain.
Yeah,
exactly. What was I gonna say? Anyway, that's it for the week. Real quick, I am going to briefly mention a couple side quests, not because you need to know every single fucking thing, but because they are a little plot important. The one that Eli knows about is so Sam, if you manage to get a chocobo, you can then run to an area that only chocobos can get to, and if you go to that area, you get to another temple. It's the Remium Temple, and it's not like a temple that's being used. And you meet, what's her name again? Belgamine. Turns out even fucking Belgamine is a ghost.
Oh.
Everyone's goddamn dead in this game.
It's like the Sixth Sense, but in reverse.
Yeah. So anyway, she's like, hey, you're finally here. Spoiler alert, I've been dead the whole time. I've just been here because I've been really wanting to try and help you. Fight me. So you fight all of her summons in a row, or rather you fight all the summons you've already earned in a row. In other words, this quest line is not actually complete, because if you get all the optional summons in the game, you can come back here and fight them too.
Nice.
But you fight all the ones you have so far up to Bahamut, and they're all very easy, because you have Bahamut, except for when you're fighting Bahamut, but in that case it's not that hard either. And if you beat every time you beat them, you get some kind of reward. So that's a side quest. You can go back and do it later if you want. And again, every time you get a new summon, because there are a couple more optional summons in this game, you can go back and fight them here. Another a thing is Mori's Monster Arena. That's a Dragon Quest VIII reference. It doesn't matter. This game has this thing where you buy special swords and weapons that are called monster catcher weapons, and if you kill an enemy with the monster catcher weapon, instead of killing the monster, you catch it, and you send it to the monster arena. Your first quest is to catch every monster in the Calmlands. It's kind of hard because one or two of those monsters have pretty low probability rates. But
and then on top of that, the weapons you have to use have no other bonuses, so it's like
they suck ass. Yeah, they do all have an empty slot if you want to add something to them, but whatever. Yeah, I died. Not died. I got into some trouble because of the weaker weapons and not having any useful abilities. Anyway, if you get all 10 of them, you find out what this area is actually for. This area is for fighting monsters, and it's not even like a special thing. It's just like, no, you can pay money to fight a single monster. It's for farming, right? If you need to farm something. But also, if you catch every single monster in one area, you'll unlock a special monster that's like a chimera made of the various monsters. Not the chimera actual monster. I mean a chimera as in a mixture of monsters. Yeah. The Mori at the Monster Arena does some fucked up science and makes a monster mix. And these are hard as bitch. They the very first one that you get, the one that you get from getting every monster in the Calmlands, is a boss battle. He's harder than Seymour. He's stupid hard. I couldn't beat him. Jesus. And he's the easiest one. Yeah. So this is the game's optional content.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, you could go around to every dungeon in the game, every forest, every mountain, and catch every monster. And for every area that you get all clear, you unlock an optional boss. Also, if you notice, the game has a lot of palette swaps. So if you catch, say, every single fast doggo, that'll give you an optional boss. If you catch every single big flying bird, you get an optional boss. So yeah, this is just a very kind of. Oh, and then the most finalist fantasy 10 of the whole game. The final boss is it called Nemesis? I don't know what it's called. It requires you to catch 10 of every monster in the game.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Super annoying. And also, but apparently this boss is like, we're talking like significantly
Disgaea levels of boss.
We're talking like Disgaea level, like batshit difficult optional boss, like way harder than the weapons in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, God.
I've heard it's absolutely insane, and they added this for the international edition. But I have heard that very first boss, that very first optional one that you get for clearing out the Calmlands, isn't actually stupid hard. The guide I know I just said he was, but the guide I was looking at said that like most players should be able to beat him if they're at this point in the game. If they're at Mount Gagazet, they should be able to beat him if they are careful and prepare. So I believe the rewards are pretty good. So if you want to go back and do it, you can. Not that you have to, but just throwing that out there.
The monster catching seemed worse than the bugs in Rogue Galaxy, so
it's not too bad, but it's a little bit annoying. I mean, I was grinding anyway, so whatever. Anyway, also, when you go to the Belgamine Temple, there's also this weird little chocobo obstacle course thing, where you can get some stupid good items, actually. So that's nice. You got 30 of this item that teaches you like AP times 2 or something like that.
Nice.
Anyway, but the big one, also you can race chocobos in the Calmland. It's whatever, you get items for it. It's stupid. But the big one though is when you get to that bridge after fighting the golem, you can go in optional direction. And when you go down there, you actually get some interesting plot and some character development for Lulu. Did either of y'all do this?
No, because I tried and Lulu was like, that's not the fucking way to go. And and Goku's like, whoops. And so then I went the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
So you can go there anyway. Okay. So what happens is you go down there, and I actually have the script here. Lulu's like, yeah, that's down into the valley. That's the wrong way. And Waka's like, wow, you sure know your way around. And Lulu kind of gives him a look. And you'll see why she gives him a look in a second.
I thought that was a poorly translated, like, you like to get around type thing. Like, he had accidentally said she was a slut, is how I read.
No, he's like, I
thought that was, because, like, there's like, spoilers for Xenoblade 2. There's a very famous scene in Xenoblade 2 where they're talking about a one-eyed monster, and Rex can't keep his face straight because he's laughing because they're talking about dicks the whole time. So I thought that's what this was trying to do. It just was clumsily translated.
No. She's spoiler alert that you'll find out in 5 seconds. She has very traumatic memories of this place.
This is where her people died.
Yeah, so Waka's just like, wow, you sure know your way around here. She's like, yeah, of course I fucking do. Okay. So anyway, so you go down there, and it turns out there's this cave called the Cave of the Stolen Faith. You know that because if you pause your game and go to the pause menu, it says that that's what it's called. Even before they explain it. So you go into the cave, and Lulu's like, oh yeah, there's a faith and a bunch of fiends inside. And then Waka goes, oh, this is where... And Lulu's like, yep. And she says the first pilgrimage she went on, this is where her summoner died. The summoner got killed in this cave, so she's not having a good time. So you go through the Cavern of the Stolen Faith. It's a pretty good dungeon. Some fun enemies. They're all unique enemies, or mostly unique enemies. A lot of status effects, kind of annoying, whatever. Turns out, why is there a faith here? Someone stole the faith from a temple, because, like the Albed, they didn't want the summoners to be training with the faith and going on their final pilgrimage. So they thought, well, if we just take the faith and put them somewhere else, then no one can do the thing.
What if we just take the faith and push it somewhere else?
Exactly. Also, Waka's like, oh yeah, the thief must have been thinking that the summoner can't die if they can't get the summon. And Tia's just like, yeah, I kind of agree with that logic. And all the party, including Waka, is just like, yeah. At the far end of the cave, you meet Lady Ginham, which is the summoner that died here. Lulu is having some emotions. She apologizes for not being a good guardian. And Yuna's about to do the sending, but then Lady Ginham does like a big shockwave and stops it from happening, and Lulu realizes that this is no longer Lady Ginham that she knows. She has gone mad. So she says, okay, fine, allow me to perform my last duty to you. My last duty is your guardian, aka to kick your ass. You fight Ginham, who summons Yojimbo. It's a very easy fight. Afterward, Lulu says...
Jimbo. Sorry. I had to steal your joke that you were skipping.
Oh, yeah. Hey there, Jimbo. Exactly. Lulu says that she thought that this would be sadder. She's gotten used to farewells. Waka makes the subtext text by saying, you're stronger now. So you go inside. When you get into the Chamber of the Faith, Yojimbo shows up. He's just a big samurai-looking guy. He asks you a question. And if you ask the question, he then says that he has like a price. He basically says, if you want me to be your summoner, you have to pay me a lot of money. There's some sort of hidden number thing going on here where you can get various prices. I don't know. I didn't have enough money, so I couldn't do it anyway. Okay, this is cool. The price that he offers you, if you give him 3 times that price, he gives you 2 teleportation spheres, which allow you to teleport, nice. I think, anywhere you've already been, or maybe anywhere on the entire board.
Nice.
So that's cool. However, that means you'll need like 1 million gil. Just throwing that out there. So anyway, that's the side quest. You learn a little bit about Lulu. The reason she's so tough is because, as Sam said a while back, she's already had her character development.
Yeah. Which I actually like in a huge ensemble cast, you don't really need every single person to be going on the hero's journey. And so it's cool that Auron and Lulu both kind of just are there, but they're there in like a safe, like, pillar of the party type way, not just a taking a back seat type of way.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, she's super mature because she's been through some shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I think it's important because of Lulu being the best character.
I might actually go and do that one.
Yeah, so literally the second... I'm sure most of us probably backtracked to the save point after beating Seymour.
Yeah.
If you had literally gone to like the next screen is like boom, Zanarkand.
Nice.
Wow.
So we're finally here. We're finally what we've all been waiting for. We are finally at Zanarkand. That'll be next week. So what are y'all memorable moments for this week?
So mine was Titus. He was talking to somebody. It was somebody important that's like in your party.
Was it Aaron? Do we have the same one again? We always have the same ones.
I think it's Riku. So you get to the Albed settlement, and because it's technically an inn, even though there's no bed, so your party separates. And you go talk to.
They're all beds.
Shut the fuck up. You're canceled. But and so you talk to Riku. I think it is, and she's just like freaking out, and she's just like, "Oh, this is when they start their plan to save Yuna.
Their evil plan to save the world."
Yeah, and so you talk to Riku, and she's just like, "Man, we can't do it. I can't believe Yuna still wants to do blah 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 blah." And Tita's is like, "I'm tired of talking to you."
Yeah.
Like, wow, dude, it's a little harsh.
He then says that he means she's so negative and doesn't think that they can do it, and she's just talking about, "Oh no, what are we going to do?" instead of "This is what we're going to do." So they make their plan there, but it still was my favorite line. Just, "I'm tired of talking."
You're such a fucking downer.
That was one of mine as well.
That is nice.
I really like how sober everything has become. Like, they're aware of just how fucking serious this is. And I mean, especially Titus, who really didn't have a whole lot of information and didn't know how serious it was at the start. And then ever since he found out Yuna was going to die, he's like, okay, this is real serious now.
That actually reminds me of something else that I had noticed, but I didn't jot down. Not to cut you off, it's related to what you're saying. But he's speaking in his Batman voice now. He's not speaking in his Star of the Zanarkand Abe's voice. He's speaking.
That's true. Yeah.
He's speaking in his Batman voice, which makes sense because this is when he narrates the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there in just a second too.
He's definitely become much more aware of how dire the circumstances are, and while I miss them having fun and laughing together, it's become very clear as part of the game's narrative that this is not a fun journey. This is not a good journey. It's a necessary one, but it's not meant to be enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just found ways to try and make that enjoyable throughout the game's story.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I didn't have that as one of my moments, but I was thinking about that. Like, is the second you have the big scene with the romance scene from last week, after that they have their talk. From this point on, it's just like serious. Like, like the Calmland music is so beautiful, but it's like it's sad. It is sad music. So like
it's the Calmlands because of all the sacrifices that everybody has had to make to make them calm.
Like the field music, we're still going on an adventure and having battles, but the field music is like, everyone is constantly thinking about death now. This is reflecting the character's psyche. They all know they're at the end of their journey, and they all know what this means.
This is the December music from Persona 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was going to sort of joke that, like, up until this point, the game has been, like, a very different sort of Final Fantasy. It's been a, like, what if instead of an epic Save the World adventure, you were having sort of a road trip where you learn about this place and its culture and really sort of nuanced discussions of these things. Now it's like, this is a Final Fantasy game. This is serious. This is the plot. Also, it's about to get a lot more anime. But yeah, the tone
I don't know,
is just...
with Seymour coming back so many times, that's pretty damn anime.
That's true. But yeah, it's just like the tone's just serious now. No one's joking around because why would you? It's great.
And I really like that Riku and Tidus are working together to try and find a way to save Yuna.
Yeah, it's
even that though I think is a bit of it. I still think that that's a bit of an element of, like you said though, of their denial. Like all the laughing and joking before was obviously like still like we're laughing and joking, so that we don't have to think about death.
Yeah.
I think that's still kind of what Goku and Riku are doing.
Yeah.
You know,
I would agree
they're
with
like
that.
kind of in a little bit of a delusion that they're going to save the day. But I think at the back of their minds, they both know that they're being a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
We'll see if they really are being ridiculous or not soon, because we haven't seen the box art of Final Fantasy X-2.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, so they're either right or some anime shit happens because Final Fantasy X-2.
Yeah.
Or they're right because they do some anime shit.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any more, Eli?
No, that was pretty much it. I did really like when Tidus yells, "And stay up there!" after Seymour dies. That was pretty great.
I have 3 quick ones. Oh, actually, tired of talking to you. What's one of mine? I have 3 quick ones.
No, I put that one in there.
Okay.
That's
right.
So
right at the beginning of.
As a quick aside, I had made a part 6 to jot that one in there, and then you saw part 6 and you added your notes to a part 7. So I just merged the 2 documents. So that's
gotcha. Anyway, right when you get to the Comlands, and this goes in with the whole somber tone. The second you get there, Yuna just like, for no reason. I mean, she has a reason, but like for no particular reason, she like lays down on the ground, and she just like relax. She just like stretches out in the grass and just lays there for a second.
Yeah.
And then she gets up. It's good.
I love that.
At one point, after you are chatting with the Ronsos, Aaron is like, I was right. Yevon is collapsing. Goku is kind of like, whom the fuck cares? Aaron's like, you don't get it. You're not from here. Even if Yevon's bad, the government/religion of the entire world disintegrating is going to cause a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It's also making me think about Final Fantasy X-2 a lot, because I'm realizing, wait a second, if Final Fantasy X's religion is a stand-in for, like, universalist Catholic integralism, then, like, is X-2 about, like, the rise of liberalism in the world? Like,
I don't know. We'll have to play it.
Because, like, that's what happened in the real world. The Western world, was unified under one system, and then the Reformation and the Enlightenment and political liberalism and industrialization and capitalism were all invented at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the world has been insane ever since. And even if you think that the integralist Catholic worldview was bad, which I do think that wasn't a good thing, it has just been replaced by chaos, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa, is that what Final Fantasy X-2 is about? Holy shit.
But with Final Fantasy, like, it's easily half and half. That's what it's about, or it's about anime girls wearing pretty dresses.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's like you could go either way. Like, some of them mean a lot of things. Like Final Fantasy VII, even though I don't like it, is like a look at like what it means to be yourself, and like that's cool. Final Fantasy VI is like, what if we made an opera with a clown as the bad guy? Hell yeah, right?
Yep. Anyway, yeah, and then the final thing, at that same moment, you talk with Wakka, and Wakka's like, we're about to get to Zanarkand, man. And Goku's like, yeah. And he's like, you're Zanarkand. And Goku's like, whatever, you don't believe me. And Wakka's like, maybe I do. But, you know, it's not the same Zanarkand. It's going to be a ruin. But hey, I'm sure you'll be home soon enough. And I'm like, Wakka, no one cares about Tidus going home anymore. We haven't cared about that in like 20 hours. Have you not noticed all the character development?
Yeah, like ever since the eject sphere, Tidus is like, cool, so I'm not going home, so let me just find me a nice Yevon girl to settle down with.
Yeah. Wakka is just a simple man. He's like, wait, I thought your motivation was that you wanted to go home. Like, okay, dude, whatever.
Do either of you watch The Good Place?
No.
God, okay, don't spoil season 3 for me, but holy shit, it's the best fucking show on TV.
It's so freaking good. But I won't... you said you haven't watched it at all, Eli?
I haven't watched a single episode of season 3.
Okay, so I cannot name this character, so you probably know who I'm talking about, Maddie. How he's always like, this is a game, right? And it's just like, where have you been for the past 4 seasons, man? Like, What are you? Like, why is that still on your mind?
Why are you still not at, like, come on, like, get with the
on the same page with everyone else?
How are you this stupid? Yeah.
That's Wakka.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, yeah, so that's it for the week. Oh my word, I just realized I'm so sorry, y'all. I forgot to find out our stopping place. It's gonna be after the big fuck you boss.
It's gonna be half of Zanarkand, because you said we had three of them left. So half of it, and then the other half,
all of
and then
it.
Seymour. Oh, we're gonna do all of Zanarkand, and then there's something else, and then final boss.
Yeah. I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler. The game is not over when you get to Zanarkand.
Okay, cool. So we're just gonna beat Zanarkand and find a safe spot.
Yeah, at the end of Zanarkand is the hardest boss in the game. Also, I think I might have mentioned sort of in many ways, the thematic climax of the game. And I guess as soon as you get to a save point after that, if there's like an hour of cutscenes in between that boss and the next save point, I'm sorry. So we'll just figure it out. If it turns, I will go just now and check that I'm not woefully mistaken, but I see no reason why all of Zanarkand shouldn't be 1 week.
Okay.
Cool. So
I can get down with that.
Yeah. Again, the odds that I'm being real dumb here are pretty slim. It's like it's one dungeon, a bunch of cutscenes, and a boss.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, yeah, that is it for the week. If you are enjoying what you're hearing and want to chat with us, you can check out our Twitter at RPG Book Club, our email, rpgbookclub@gmail.com, or our Discord, which is just always a great time.
So, if you want us to be able to afford to keep doing this thing, if you could head on over to our Ko-Fi. We have Ko-Fi Gold, so you can set up a monthly subscription, just like Patreon, and you can buy us. So what's cool about Ko-Fi is instead of like, oh, make a donation, it's buy them a cup of coffee. But with Gold, you can change that. So instead of buying us a cup of coffee, you buy us a little bit of a video game. And so you can buy us a little bit of a video game for $1 or more than that dollars if you want to. Over on Ko-Fi.com. It uses PayPal, which is something I didn't realize Patreon didn't. So if you are stuck using PayPal, like we have a couple high schoolers that listen and hang out in the Discord have to use PayPal. So if you want to do that, you can go over there. But yeah, if you're on the Patreon, like you can go ahead and cancel your subscription because I've been paid for April and I'm not going to charge you for May. And if for some reason I still need to do a vote and I've canceled the Patreon and it doesn't let me do it, I'll just send out a Google Forms to everybody as an exit interview or something. But we'll be over there from now on.
Quick pause. You know what's bullshit? PayPal forces you to use your legal name.
That's dumb.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
It's a huge fucking ordeal.
Yeah, when I got my legal name change, I basically had to send my ID and my paperwork fucking everywhere, which was very, very scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to get that out.
I mean, I'm not saying it makes sense, but like I get why some levels of bureaucracy and stuff would require a very formal thing, but it's fucking PayPal, okay? I'm just paying for things. It's literally just money. Like my Venmo, like it's stupid. Like my Venmo, which is owned by the same company as PayPal, I can just change my name on Venmo. It's no big deal. Like, get over yourself, PayPal. You're not that important.
One note's also stupid. My account name on PayPal is Sam Allman at Baylor, because that's where I had set it up. So even though I log in with other emails, I get all of my emails on my personal email address. It still is just like, hey, welcome back, Sam at Baylor. And I'm like, it's not fucking me anymore.
Yeah, like they make it so hard. It's like your account on PayPal is so immutable. And again, it's like, dude, you're not the fucking Social Security office, okay? You're
right?
You're a website for giving people money. It's not that big of a deal. Just let me change my shit.
But yeah, you can donate to us using PayPal, using Ko-Fi, and buy us a little bit of a video game.
Do it, please.
So this has implications that like I'll go into after Best of the Rest, but it changes how shortcast and longcast work, and it makes it more likely to happen, which is cool. So that's dope. So yeah, I'll make a big announcement of that. We're going to be doing an episode 0 again here in a bit, because we're not the people we were in Persona years, and like some
howdy.
In one case, literally, and then other cases, two cases, audio quality-ishly. So we'll be doing a new one of those, and I'll probably go into how all of that works in that one. But
yeah. And also, what was I going to say? Sorry. There was something I need to throw in there. Oh, right. I was going to say, we already decided what our first shortcast is going to be, and it's going to be great. So please let us do that.
Yeah, it'll be cool. But yeah, other than that, I'm working on the next JRPG canon video. And by that, I mean, yesterday I downloaded every single fully playable JRPG fan translation from romhacking.net for the Super NES. So that's
Dave,
that's
if you
what
don't
I did.
upload your next damn video, I'm going to fire you out of the JRPG canon.
Okay. I'll be the JRPG human bullet. But yeah, that's about it. For RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I've been Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
I'm Maddie Webben.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye, love
Bye,
you.
nerds. I'm glad. Oh wait, hold on. Actually, there is a joke I'm going to make, so I need to make sure that I get at a certain point I'm going to make a dumb reference, so I need to make sure I get the text of the dumb reference up. Okay, cool, got it. I'm just getting that ready for later.
Oh, that's going to be the outro.
Behind the scenes, how the sausage gets made.